Hi, it's Graham Wilson here from Success Factory. I know you're really successful in your job right now and you've mastered the art of delivering amazing results, but you've been actually asked to go outside your comfort zone now and start to do these strange things called projects. So what are projects and what are my top 5 tips I can share with you to really accelerate that development and make it really easy for you to deliver great results in a different context? You know, over the last 40 years, I've been really fortunate to learn an awful lot around how to deliver projects. And over the last 27 years running Success Factory, I've been really fortunate to be able to work with some amazing organizations and some amazing leaders who are delivering extraordinary results. And I've learned an awful lot from them, as well as developing them and helping them to achieve outstanding results. It's been a really great journey. So what I like to do is really share with you my top 5 tips about how you can accelerate projects and how you actually deliver projects in the most effective and easy way. So what are those top 5 tips? Well, number 1 is the context different. So you're now moving away from line management and being really successful and mastering your job in a line management context to now start to deliver projects. And the main difference around projects is that you're now working cross-functionally and you're going to be working with people who don't report to you and people who don't have any KPIs that relate to you and people who are already busy doing stuff that they need to do to be successful in their roles. So leadership starts to take a different feel. It's around how you engage with stakeholders. It's about how you inspire people, how you create a compelling vision for your project, how you link your project to the overall plan of the business. And it's really important to think about leadership, not from a positional point of view anymore, it's from an influential point of view. It's how do I get people who are already busy working on my project and giving their time in order for me to deliver the results I need to deliver. So it's worth thinking about leadership and think about your leadership style. You now can't walk into a room and be the boss and demand things. You've got to influence people, you've got to engage people, you've got to inspire people. So your ability to tell stories and to be able to link things, to be able to join the dots is really, really important. So that's tip number 1 is really have a good look at your leadership style and think about how you become more influential and how do you actually start to influence people who don't directly report to you. So that would be tip number 1. Tip number 2 is that it's very easy to be pulled into deliverables for your project and be forced to put a project plan together and actually overcommit these deliverables. When actually, when you think about it, the most important thing about your project is what happens after your project. So if you're making a change to a range or different SKUs or whatever it is in your area that you're having to deliver, then you've got to think about, it's really about adding value. We're going to invest money and time in this project to make a difference for our customers. So it's really important to think about the end and begin with the end in mind and think about, well, actually, I need to actually get people to accept this change. So it's really important to think around change and projects. So project management is around developing a solution. Change is about getting the business to accept that solution. And my advice would be is start with change. Don't get to the point where you're starting to deliver your project, you're delivering your solution, and then people start resisting because they're unaware of it and they have no idea why it's happening. They're just told to do things. Then think about when you're developing your project plan, think about, well, how do I get the business to accept this? How do I get people on board? And one of the tips I can give you is that inclusion equals commitment. So early on in your project, make sure you're including all the users and people are going to use your solution to get their ideas and thoughts so you can actually start to socialize it with them and start to build that inspiration so they start to help you. And that can make a huge difference to your project delivery. So think about that change. So number 1 is about leadership. Number 2 is it starts with change. Think about how you can warm up the business to accept the change. Don't get locked into that, developing that solution in isolation. Then you'll start to have big issues about delivering it when you start to go live. Yeah, you can be really successful, can't you? Deliver the most amazing solution, but no one really wants it. And of course that then will reflect on you as a project lead. So number 2 is about change. Number 3 is you're now in a world of stakeholder management. Now, stakeholders, I'm sure you've seen the film Dracula. I always think about stakeholders. These are people who can actually drive a stake through your heart. They're people who can kill your project and kill you and kill your future success. So it's really important from a project arena to be able to, number 1, identify who are your stakeholders. Who are the people I need to have on board? So who's my project sponsor? How does my project link to the overall plan of the business? Who do I need to get involved in? Who are the key players? And start to really list out all the key people you need to get on board in terms of delivering your outcomes. The second thing is then to think about how do I engage these stakeholders? How do I get them on board? How do I get them excited about the project? So that's where your influencing skills and collaboration skills come in. And the third thing then is how do I then manage them through the project lifecycle to make sure that they are actually supporting and helping me to deliver great results. So that's number 3 is stakeholder management. Number 4 is really around speeding up by slowing down. When you're given a project, it's very easy to rush into developing a plan in isolation, getting your first deliverables done and start to rush in to get things done. And the problem with that, of course, is it's not sustainable and you won't deliver the best results. My advice would be to stop and think about the process you're going to use in order to deliver your project. Now, there's many different project management methodologies out there, so we're not going to go into that in this particular video, but what I would say is think about what's the process you're going to go through. And I always think there's 6 questions that you need to ask yourself in order to deliver a project effectively. I'm a big fan of simplicity and big fan of one pages. So for me, the 6 questions are, number 1, is this change desirable? So is it going to help us to achieve our strategy, our plans, our vision? Does it align to our goals? Does it align to our values? Does it help us achieve our purpose? Is it going to add value to our customers? So those sort of type questions are really important to build that understanding of why you're doing the project. The second thing is it feasible and viable? So in terms of feasibility, have we got the resources? Have we got the time and space to actually make this happen? Have we got the technology to make it happen? And the viability really, does the business case stack up? Is there a commercial? What's the payback? What's the return on investment in this project? Because if we're not going to get the right investment then, or return on investment, I should say then, why are we actually doing it? So once those 3 questions are answered, then I can start thinking, okay, well, I've now got a real good project scope now. I need to now build my team. So my next question is, who do I need on my team to deliver this? So who's the sponsor? Who's going to be involved in the actual project delivery team? Who are the other people I need involved? And then what I need to do is get that team together and start to socialize the reason why we're doing this project, to bring them up to speed, to build that team. And then when the team's together, I need to then craft the approach. So the next question is really how we're going to deliver this change. So what is it we need to actually do to actually deliver it? So that's when we create our project and change plan. And the final bit then it goes, the last couple of questions really is making sure we deliver it. And the final question would be to ask myself is, how do I make the new normal? So 6 questions. Is it desirable? Is it feasible and viable? Who do we need on board to actually make it happen? What are we actually going to do in terms of the approach? Now let's make it happen. And then finally, how do I make the new normal? So you can make this really simple, can't you? And I always say that you've got to put your projects onto one page. So when I say speed up by slowing down, there's an awful lot you need to do before you get to delivery. It's really important to understand why you're doing it, understand who needs to get involved, plan together, and then start to deliver. If you do that, then you'll actually speed up the delivery. So speeding up by slowing down is a key concept. And the final tip, number 5, would be around keeping it simple. If you can't articulate what you're trying to do on one page, then you don't understand what you're trying to do. So keep things really simple. I don't believe in creating a complex project management methodology. There's enough of that out there with consultants out there doing that for us where we don't need to get involved in that. We need to deliver things fast. We need to deliver things in an easy way. So get it down to one page. Why am I doing it? How am I going to do it? And what are the outcomes? And if you can answer those 3 questions, then you can have a successful project. So think about that. And again, we'll give you an overview of this, a download you can have a look at, and a copy of a 1-page project canvas, I call them. So you can have a look at that and see how you can deliver projects in the most effective way. Now, to summarize all this in terms of a formula for success for you, which is great news, isn't it? There is a formula. Everything in projects is predictable. Over the last 40 odd years of delivering projects, the last 27 years of teaching people whilst delivering projects myself, there is a pattern that I can share with you. So number 1 is the formula. This is why you did maths at school, by the way. So the formula is this, is that you need to know the purpose of your project. You need to understand what type of approach you're going to take. What's the project type I'm going to use? I need to have really effective stakeholder management. I need to be able to review and learn effectively as the project unfolds. I need to be able to really plan effectively in a collaborative way. There's no point having a plan in isolation. You've got to do it collaboratively because inclusion equals commitment. All of that has to be shared amongst the team. Now, of course, there's all the project management stuff around reporting and governance and all that stuff that we need to take into account as well. So all of that stuff is really important. Now, that's multiplied by your leadership capability, and it's also multiplied by your marketing ability. What's the story you tell about your project? If no one knows about your project, it's not a compelling vision. If you haven't actually articulated it to the business, then you're going to find it really hard to deliver. So your ability to market the project and be able to sell a project, the reason why we're doing it and what value you're adding and how it links to the bigger picture is really important. So the final tip I give you is that you need to know the strategy of the business as well as the senior team. And you also need to know who actually owns different parts of strategy, because when you link your project to the elements of the strategy, you're more likely to get the support you need. So project management, massive topic. I hope that's really useful for you. Download the 2-page guide for you, download the 1-page canvas, and if you've got any questions, feel free to give us an email or ask. I'm more than happy to and connect on LinkedIn. We do lots of stuff around projects. We've got our own methodology called Change Pro. So if you want to learn more about that, if you go onto changepro.co.uk, you can start to find out more about projects. And there's loads of free resources on there you can have a look at. So I wish you well in your projects, and let's go out there and remember, speeding up by slowing down is the key. Have a good think about delivering your project before you leap into those deliverables. Have fun, and bye for now.